You've been inhabiting the Doctor now for a full season. You've just wrapped shooting, but we're all still to see the new Doctor.
Yeah.
How's it been going?
It's been great. I mean, we actually just only finished last Wednesday. We just finished filming the season last Wednesday, more or less got straight on a plane to begin this tour. So we're still slightly in filming mode. So if there's a corridor, we may run down it. And Jenna may call, Doctor, Doctor.
Keep calling Peter Doctor. It's really awkward and embarrassing.
But it's been great. It's been, it's a wonderful job. You wake up every morning and you get to go and fight monsters and work with Jenna.
Well, there was quite a bit of flirting with the previous Doctor, and I suppose a suggestion of perhaps a romantic connection there in a way. Is that the kind of relationship we're going to see between you two?
No. The difficulty... No hanky-panky in the TARDIS. I think that what's interesting is because there is not a romantic bond, it uncovers and focuses on another bond, which is sort of deeper
something else.
Kind of bond. Yeah, I mean, this is not a relationship that you can recognise and find in life. And I think Clara is forced into situations where she's got to constantly reevaluate her relationship with the Doctor, because the Doctor's a totally new person who doesn't behave in the way he did before.
Very unpredictable.
I've made many mistakes. And it's about time that I did something about that.
Where are we going?
Into darkness.
How did you develop the character, and how did you bring something different to it?
Well, the first thing I respond to is the script, so whatever's written is what I have. That's the story I try to tell. But I started to collect a lot of images and quotes, and there were people that I would see, famous people, dead people, historical people, that I would think there was a little bit of Doctor Who about them, and I'd write them down in a book or get a picture of them, and gradually just put together a lot of ideas about what I thought this Doctor would be like.
You have a huge fan base in Australia because of the Malcolm Tucker character you played. Were you tempted to perhaps bring some of the spin Doctor into the Doctor?
No, I think there's a certain vigour and fizz that I probably have as an actor, which Malcolm also shares with the Doctor. But the funny thing is that Malcolm is very... In a way, the Doctor's much closer to me, to the real me, than Malcolm is to me. Malcolm is much more of a performance.
Jesus, do you not think it would be germane to check who you're talking to?
He's a much more distant figure from the way I am. I try to bring the Doctor closer to who I am.
And you were a fan of the Doctor as a kid?
Yeah.
I suppose as a child, though, you never think, I'm going to grow up one day and be the Doctor.
No, you just, you just play at being the Doctor in the playground. And I just loved it. I mean, I was brought up in the 60s, and Doctor Who was part of all that, was part of the Beatles and part of Woolworths and part of Sunday Night at London Palladium, and it was just an exciting part of life. But I became very, very obsessed with the show. I used to send letters to Doctor Who and send letters to the people, to the point where the production office thought I was a nuisance and sent me a letter.
Blacklisted.
They sent me a letter saying, please don't write anymore. Can you imagine saying that to a kid? Please don't write to Doctor Who anymore.
We really appreciate your letters, but
that's
please
funny.
stop.
That's a funny story. What did you do when you first found out? How did you keep it a secret? How did both of you keep it a secret?
Do you know what? It's not worth for me, it wasn't worth the paranoia of me telling anybody, just because you would hate to be the person to spoil the surprise. So it just makes life a lot easier.
It was great. It's lovely walking around with that secret, but it's a sort of, it's really quite childlike. Adults don't normally get to have a lovely secret like that.
And you go and hang out in sci-fi geek stores, is that right? Knowing the secret that
no, that was only I happened to mention that one of the things that I did, because I'm a geek myself. There's a store in London called Forbidden Planet, which is a great store, which has lots of geek stuff in it, comics and sci-fi books and horror books and stuff. And I used to go in there anyway, just to shop and whatever. But when I became Doctor Who and nobody else knew, I used to just go in there and hang around and sort of stand close to people. So thinking they don't know that they're standing next to Doctor Who. I'd go up to a bit where they were looking at a Doctor Who magazine, and I'd just creep up behind them and think they don't know, but Doctor Who is right behind them.